How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back for the first of two huge previews this week. I mean, this week is huge, isn't it? I think everybody knows that this week is so pivotal. And I've got nerves for this week, It's like two big home games, but I'm quite nervous, but I think it's because it's just so massive for what this will do for our season. We've seen the results this weekend, barring our result. And also, it's nice to get that Arsenal one out of the way pretty quick, isn't it? I think that the good turnaround from Saturday to Tuesday is going to help us so we don't have to sit with that defeat for a week. But the games this week, Forest first, Palace later. We'll talk Forest today. Absolutely massive, man. Absolutely massive. Allison here saying, hi, everyone. At least 4 points required for the next two games. Allison, you know what? 4 points wouldn't be the worst thing. But for me, I know it's asking a lot because we probably haven't done it this season. But how good would 6 points feel? But I know I'm asking a lot for 2 wins in a row. I know, people. But just think how huge 6 points would be. It would be beautiful, wouldn't it? But listen, we'll get into it. We'll talk about the Forest one today. Louise is saying, KG Legend, glad to catch a live stream. No, shout out to you. And listen, if you're watching live now, please hit a like on the video. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Drop your comments afterwards. And if you're watching replay, do the same as well. But thank you for joining me. Yeah, Liam, we all love Leeds. We do. We'll see what they've got after Arsenal. And Ashley here, time for the players to step up now and show some fight. Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be big, isn't it? You would think with two home games, it's in our favor. But we know what the Elland Road crowd can be like, especially when it's nervy. And I can imagine if I'm feeling nervous, I can imagine other people feeling nervous too. And it translates to the pitch sometimes. But it's on the onus is on us in these games. And Javi Gracia today said the same as well. It's going to be a completely different game to the Arsenal one, which I knew he was going to say anyway because he's a tactician like that. But it's going to be interesting, isn't it? It's going to be interesting. Mark is asking here, do we have any updates on Verba or Nanto? We don't. That's the short answer is no. Again in the press conference today, the journalists were trying to probe him for answers. He didn't give any answers to these two being back for this game. So we're going into this one unknown. We don't know if they're going to be available, but all the players that were available on Saturday will be. So if you work on that basis, if these two come back in for the Forest game, awesome. I'm kind of working on the basis that they're not going to be available for this game, unfortunately. But I hope to see them. CJ here saying, I hope Verba plays by his absence. You can tell he's the key signing for Leeds. He's been absolutely pivotal, hasn't he? You saw it on Saturday, and I've watched the highlights back. I'm not into, I like a bit of pain, but not this much. And just watching it, you could see how unorganized that defense was, even though there was more of them. You saw there was, sometimes it was 5, sometimes it was a 6 dropping in, and they didn't have a clue. There was no one there. Robin Koch, as good as he is, and again, I thought he was okay. You could see that he doesn't have the organizational skills that Verba does. Verba literally, and Tyler Adams as well, by the way. Let's not forget Tyler Adams in that. He helps organize that defense too. And he also helps out the right back as well, who does need help. And it will be interesting to see if he starts tomorrow. Because personally, for me, I wouldn't. But I don't know if Javi Gracia is going to drop Luke Hayden. But you're right, CJ. Verba was definitely missed. Jack is saying, hope you're doing good, KG from Australia. 3 points there. Shout out to you. And wherever you are around the world, shout out to everyone. Robert T here, bring it on. Yeah. And Mark, I'm scared. You see the contrast in nerves and the way people feeling. It's why we love football, though, isn't it? But will we be loving it tomorrow come 9:45 GMT, I should say. Just before I continue, though, big shout out for the super thanks on the last video. Shout out to all the donations, really helpful. Karen Curtin, John Abbott, John L, and to new members of the channel, Clive and Paul A. And listen, if you want to become a member of the channel, link is in the description. Helps out the channel, helps me out, and helps the running costs. Thank you so much for that continued support. Seriously, it means the world. Liam B saying, was impressed with how he kept his information to himself. Yeah, he had to keep saying, I don't like talking about injuries. I don't want to put expectations on people and things like that, but they keep trying. I gotta say today, I don't know if you heard the press conference, but some of the questions today were absolutely they were eye-rolling today. They were awful messages, questions. I mean, Yeah, I mean, they've had it easy the last two managers, haven't they? With both Bielsa and Jesse Marsh, who would just give out team formations, injuries, and everything else. They're having to work a little harder for their answers with Javi Gracia. And listen, for the people, because there's been a glut of sackings, hasn't there, over the past couple of days? Some people, man, Javi Gracia is still here. The bed's still warm. It's not even like it's not even cold. It's still warm. He's still here. And people asking me about Brendan Rodgers and Graham Potter, like, wow. So people in general, do you see Javi Gracia as just like the caretaker, the substitute teacher? Because the way some people were talking yesterday was like, we have literally got like an interim manager when Javi Gracia is already here. I thought it was pretty funny myself. Uh, let's have a look. Richard Ruff saying, if we don't get a result tomorrow or Saturday, we are going down. Is it Saturday or are we playing Sunday? I don't know. I'll check that one. We are going down. Why is Gracia going on about Bamford or Rodrigo? What has Rutter got to do to be picked? Yeah, it's because he's always asked about those guys. In all fairness, he's always people, local journalists, they always ask about Bamford. It's just what they do. But we saw with Rutter on Saturday. I mean, again, nice cameo in circumstances. Let's not forget we lost that game 4-1, and I thought there was a good question being asked at the start about the players' spirits because, like I said in the match reaction, a couple people saying that they didn't care about the Arsenal game and it's all about these two coming up. But your form and your confidence and your thoughts go from game to game. And when you've been crushed 4-1, it's going to have a little effect. Whereas if you come out with a battling 1-1 or a slight 1-0 loss, then there's more positives to take from it. But a 4-1 crushing is a 4-1 crushing. So, but he said, they're going to try and just move on from that one and now focus on these games coming up, which is only fair. Skip here saying, I thought Rutter played well and hopefully he's getting more inclined to the pace and pressure of playing for Leeds. Yeah, we could, but the thing is, Skip, he needs more minutes, doesn't he? He needs more time on the pitch to really show. And I think that these games coming up are perfect opportunities to get that. Rodrigo, if he's fit, again, Gracia says that he's working towards full fitness. If he's going to start, I would love to see Rutter start behind him. I'd love to see something like that happen. Yeah, and that was it, Jed. He was asked about playing Bamford and Rodrigo as a two, but again, I think that Rutter and Rodrigo could work well together, but we'll see. We'll see. Callum here is saying Deserby doing way better than Potter ever did not than Potter ever did. Not for me. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's my answer in terms of people that are asking for Graham Potter come the summer. For me, I've said on here before, but the jobs that he's done, I think he did okay at Brighton. But when you see what Deserby's done with the same players, and also you've got to think as well, he had Mitoma as well at the time, and he didn't use him. So does that mean that his profile of player isn't that good? He used to like wheel out Mopai each week. I mean, and when you look at what's happened at Chelsea, I just don't. He doesn't get me excited. If you're asking me the two between Potter and Gracia, I just stick with Gracia. I don't think that Potter is all that in terms of replacing Gracia for Potter. I think that there's better long-term managers out there than Graham Potter. I think that Graham Potter's stock just went up because of what he did with Brighton. But when you see what De Zerbi's done with that Brighton team, the same Brighton team minus Trossard and a couple of other players, minus Bissouma, minus Cucurella. I think it's night and day. I think that coaches, good coaches, they stick out. And for me, Graham Potter, I don't know where he's going to go next, but I hope it's not Leeds United anyway. Russ here is saying I can see a nice big fat 6 points coming our way at the next two games. I don't know what all the panicking's about. I'm not panicking, but it's nerves, isn't it? It's nerves because we know how big this week is. But yeah, I'm not panicking, but I'm nervous. I will admit that. Carl Tanner saying agreed Potter has been exposed this season. Yeah, and you just have to look back at the Brighton stuff, all those draws, all those things, all the chances that they try and create and no goals. He did it again with Chelsea. For me, I don't believe in coincidences. And for me, I don't want to go back to where we're not getting shots on target and things like that, like he was doing with this Chelsea team. And this Chelsea team is way more talented than this Leeds United team. So for me, it's just not for me. But I can understand if you like the familiarity. You see Graham Potter every week, so you probably think he's better than he is. But for me, nah, I would stay away. Mark Rankin saying we stick with Javi. The man already deserves it. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, Mark. But then there's also things about, I got a couple questions about why did Luke Ayling stay on the pitch? There's things like that, isn't it? Not every manager's going to get it right all the time, of course not. But we do have to see now because Luke Ayling had a horrendous game against Arsenal. It looked even worse with every highlight package I saw. Does he? Because we won't be playing the back five against Nottingham Forest. Does he now say to Rasmus, "It's your time. You've been knocking on the door. I've been impressed with you, your attitude, and everything else like that. Go and have a game." Luke Ayling needs to sit out this one. That's what I'm hoping to see. But at the same time, it won't surprise me if we see Luke Ayling on the team sheet tomorrow. Uh, And Jed's here saying, have you hinted at a more attacking formation tomorrow? I like that we don't know what he's going to do precisely. And let me just get into a couple of his comments. Let me just get these up. Uh, okay, yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'm non-tone Weber. On injured players, I prefer to say nothing. Good old Jose talk, sorry. In 2 or 3 days, things don't change a lot. Maybe there's a few different options for tomorrow. Now we are starting the most important of the season with 10 games left. Every game is massive for them and us. Playing at home, we must make extra effort. He expects a different game to Arsenal, a more offensive game with more possession and, more importantly, a better result. Love to hear that. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. Rodrigo, just an update on Rodrigo. He's making a big effort to help the team. He's not in the best condition, but he tries to help the same way in the rest of the players. They all know the collective objective to remain in the league, of course, yeah. And just on the Forest side, just for me, with one of their players, Ryan Yates is still out, and it's not like Ryan Yates is like this all-world midfielder, but he is quite key to what they've done when they've been quite good. So that's a pretty big one for them to be out. But Forest, they've got like 50 players, so they've got a lot to choose from. But I think I just like what he said today in terms of this game is going to be different. The way I'm going to set up is going to probably be different because we're at home, we're against a lesser team, we're around the same. And also with Forest as well, people, I've got to say, I hope that we're not giving out gifts again. I will say this. You've said it here, Callum. Forest haven't won a game since playing us. That's one thing. And also they've won one away game all season. They've got 6 points away from home this season. We're not that much better, mind you, but I hope we're not going to add to their tally and give them a boost in that column, just like we do. The Leeds thing, Leedsy, isn't it? I hope that we just keep things going to form and get a win. Get a win tomorrow. It would be absolutely massive. Now, Brennan Johnson is the key for them, and he's somebody I highlighted a long time ago. If you're a long-term subscriber of this channel, you'll know Brennan Johnson is somebody that I said if Forest don't get up via the playoffs, let's go and get him because I think that he's got the tools to do it in this league, and he's gonna be important for them tomorrow. 8 goals this season in the Prem already. Very, very key. Him and Morgan Gibbs White, I love their link up. They're good together. But if we can nullify those two and play our game and get on the front foot the way that Javi Gracia probably expects us to do, then for me, this is a game that we can win. I don't look at this game and think draw or loss. I think we should be winning this game. But listen, Forest will be looking at this game also and thinking that they should win too. Liam B is saying Rasmus is playing with loads of confidence. He definitely should start. For me, he should as well. It's Luke Ayling's had his go. It's not going well, especially defensively. I mean, it's been horrendous defensively. The things going forward for us is not taking out the defensive mistakes. So yeah, get Rasmus in there. He's playing with a bit of confidence. He scored a couple goals. Get him in there. It's not for even for his goals. It's just more for his defensive work. Let's see what Rasmus can do in the next couple games. But I just don't see him. I just don't see him being dropped. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But I'll give Javi Gracia the benefit of the doubt because he has done pretty well so far. But I don't want to see Ailing tomorrow. I don't. I really don't. Um, yeah, Helt Gron is saying. I hope I've said that. Gron. I hope so. Rasmus 2 goals in 2 games. Yeah, and I missed the deflection on that one, people. I said that I thought that Ramsdale glitched, but I didn't see the deflection. So that's on me. That's on me. Callum here asking a question here. Should we expect much rotation? Couldn't tell you. Callum, he doesn't give anything like that away. And that's what journalists over here are struggling with. They don't know what to ask him. So they go into all kinds of different things, but we don't know. We'll see. They would have recovered and everything else, done their recovery work, rest days, whatever it may be, before this game. Is a quick turnaround. We'll see what the team is. But for me, I hope there's a couple more attackers. And I still stand by his what he tried to do against Arsenal because it was working. And the plan would have probably changed come 60, 70 minutes if we're still 1-0 to them or nil-nil. I think it was working, but mistakes cost us the game plan. But I thought it was working pretty well. But I do expect a couple more attackers to be on the pitch personally. Uh, let's have a look. What else have we got? Oh yeah, yeah. I forgot to mention as well. More of a shout for Somerville in his performance as well. I thought he was pretty good in the first half. Forgot to say that last time. Um, But yeah, Forest, Brendan Johnson, look out for him. But the onus is on us at home at Elland Road under the lights. Come on, guys. Got to do it. Got to do it. Robin is saying here, Root is dribbling ability starting to show, needs more game time, and he'll really come good. I agree. I agree. Again, not to say that Jorginho is going to score 15 goals a season. I don't know if he's going to be that kind of player, but I think he's going to be one of those that can link the play very well and take out players with his dribbling skills. But he's going to need to get more time. Bonky's here saying, good to catch you live. Hi from Vancouver and beautiful BC. Shout out to you over in Canada. Shout out to you. Yeah, Ben. The last journalist asked some of the most pointless questions. I know it was getting brutal. It was going off a cliff, wasn't it? Rough, really, really rough. uh, yeah, McKenny as well. I think he'll probably come back in if he's over his flu. He did mention that he wasn't fully fit in terms of his health there. So hopefully he's back as well. I think we need him in the middle. Uh, let's have a look. Jen, I was waiting for the journalist to ask what he had for dinner next year. Oh Lord. Okay, right. So yeah, that's it for me in terms of this game tomorrow. We know what's at stake. The players know what's at stake. You all know what's at stake. So let's go into it now. And if you're watching the replay, and even if you're watching this now, put your score predictions in. So let's go with score predictions now, people. Let's go. What are you saying for score lines? Now, for me, I've got Rodrigo starting in my head, so he's in my starting lineup. So I can see him scoring and doing a couple of his celebrations. Do we keep a clean sheet? Hmm. Okay, let's have a look. Michael got saying 1-0 leads. Gavin Parry say 3-0. Wow. Liam B's also going 3-0. Skip 3-2. Rob's 2-1. David is going 3-0 also. Wow. A lot of clean sheets here. Okay, okay. Is that even without Verba playing? AFV is saying 3-1, 2-1. Yeah. Oh Lord. Ashley saying 3-0. This is good. I like the confidence. I mean 4-1. It's gone up now. 4-1. Somebody said Jack here 4-0. I wish I could go with that, but I'm gonna go with something a little similar. I'm gonna go 2-0. I've got a 2-0 scoreline in my head, and I've got Rodrigo getting both goals. And I hope that comes true. Hope that comes true, man. Paul is saying 1-0 to Leeds. That would be nice, wouldn't it? And Yeo here, of course, Yeo, it's true. Depends on the lineup. That is key, isn't it? You know what? As well, I've got to say, Pascal, you need to step up a bit more. You've got an opportunity, especially if Verba's not playing. Need to see better from you, man. You was like a statue in the Arsenal game. Looking back on that game, and again, you're talking to me that loves Pascal Stroud, but at the moment, it's not coming together for this guy. So we need him to have a much, much better performance if Verba's not playing. He has to be better. He needs to be more aware. I thought his awareness in that Arsenal game was completely off. And that hurts to say, man, because I do love Pascal Stroud, but he's got to step up in Verba's absence. He has to. Uh, Julie saying, KG, I'm going for a 3-0 win. Hope I ain't put my foot in it now. Man, I can hear you saying that. Hey, KG, I'm going for 3-0 win. I hope I haven't insulted anyone there. I can just hear you saying it in that. But no, if you're confident in a win, say that you were going to win. Of course, of course. Yeah, exactly, Dilip. Go with your gut instinct also, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Oh, and just for anyone, I mean, this goes out. without saying. Adams won't start. He just had an up. I mean, he's going to be out for a while. It's going to be one of those where it will be lucky to see Tyler Adams again. It was hamstring surgery, so think about how delicate your hamstrings are. I don't know if we're going to see him again this season. I hope so, but Javi Gracia hasn't ruled that out. But yeah, he's not going to be back this week. Let's just put it that way. Um, and Junior here, another Rutter shout. Junior just need to get Rutter playing more. He's got the quality, I believe. Lovely, lovely. German here saying anything but a win would be deflating. But I've seen quite a few people say 4 points, German. So let's say we draw tomorrow and beat Palace. Is that still the same? Do you still feel the same way? Personally, for me, I want to see 6 points. So anything less than a win is deflating. But 4 points wouldn't be the end of the world. And it's not like we've won 2 games in a row since I can remember. So it is asking a lot from this current group in this league season. But yeah, I don't know if anything but a win would be deflating. It all depends, doesn't it? If we're winning 1-0 and then Nottingham Forest get a last minute equalizer, that's going to be a punch to the gut, isn't it? So we'll see how the game plays out tomorrow. But we'll be much more on the front foot tomorrow. And these guys are going to step up. Jack Harrison going to step up even more tomorrow. He's going to obviously start. He seems to be a favorite under Javi Gracia. We need all these guys to step up. If Somerville's playing, do your thing again. Keep creating chances. Let's go, man. We need this win. We need this win. Please, 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 please. And yeah, let's just finish on that one. Bunkies, please not get a Leedsy. That's the last thing we need to see. But listen, people, I'm going to leave it there. This has been the preview. I will be back tomorrow, so look out for the video. I haven't set it up just yet, but look out for the match reaction video tomorrow, and we'll go through this together. Hopefully, we're celebrating 3 points and going above Forest and looking much healthier in the table. There's movement coming at the bottom of the table. Leicester have sat their manager. Palace has got Hodgson back now. All kinds of madness going on. It's absolutely insane in the Prem this season, but it just shows you how important it is to stay in this league. So yeah, people, tomorrow 3 points. Let's go. Let's do this thing. Come on, Leeds. And like the video before you go. Peace out. And yes, yeah. Hopefully Spurs don't be Spurs either and they can beat Everton tonight. That would be very helpful. You're right. Come on, Spurs. Do something good for once in your lives. Peace out, people.